everyone, welcome to my first crafting video, and this one is for the one stamp set, one card hop that's on Instagram. I'll have the hashtag in the description below, and you can head over to Instagram, just type in that hashtag, and you'll see everybody's creations for this hop. And as I said, this is my first video, so definitely you came for the crafts, but be sure to stay for the train wreck. So, for the one stamp set, I am using the Hero Art Stacking Snowflake stamp set. What I loved about this is since you have to use all the images and all the sentiments for this challenge, this felt like a great one. I am using all of them, but since so many of them are stacked, I can still do a simpler card. So without further ado, let's get started. So I have a sheet of cardstock here that has been cut down to 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm just going to put it in my MISTI here. Going to get it all set up with the magnets. Love my MISTI. If you haven't gotten a similar stamping platform yet, hurry up and get on that. I cannot tell you how this thing has changed my life. Now, what I want to do for this is, even though I've already designed my Christmas cards for this year, I really wanted to go ahead and do something with the snowflakes and do something with the kind of atypical color combinations. So you're going to see me just going ahead and whipping out some different ones. And if you haven't used a MISTI before, you saw how I just picked that stamp up right onto the lid. I'm going to ink it up right over here. There we go. And then I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to burnish it on. And we're going to see how it looks. So that looks really great. That looks super vibrant. That looks really pretty. And we're just going to go ahead and peel that off. And we're going to put one of the layers on top of it. So this one, as you can see, it just stacks right on top. Really pretty, really nice layering effect. I'm going to make sure we got that centered. You're going to close that up. It's going to pick up the stamp. And I'm going to grab my other ink color, which is a lighter pink. I'd actually really intended to do the lighter pink first, but I messed up. So that's okay. We'll just go ahead and flip it over. I don't think it really makes that big of a difference. It's still going to be pretty. And then you just burnish that down. Burnish, burnish, burnish. Now, as you can see, it's not very dark. I definitely want to be darker. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to ink the stamp up again, right off camera, because that's how you do a DIY video. So I'm going to get that all inked up. I'm going to flip it back over. And I'm going to burnish it again. And that's the beauty of a stamping platform like this. I don't have to worry about trying to line things up exactly. It is already where I need it to be. Now that looks really nice, but I think I'd like it just a little bit darker still. So we're going to do one more with this with this pale pink color. Just try to darken it up. Or flip it over. One more. And there it is. Yeah, I like that. I like how that looks. So I decided that of the sentiments that I have, one is wishing you a season of joy, and that seems like a great inside sentiment. And then I decided I would take all these other sentiments and I would just scatter them around the front of the card. So let me move my magnet here. Let's do Let It Snow over here at a jaunty angle. Let's do Mary right here. And I think what I'll do is I'll stack another one there. So that one will get embossed twice. I have Winter Greetings, which I think will look nice right down here. And then finally, I have White Christmas, which is going to be a little ironic considering that this Christmas is anything but that's okay. Who doesn't sign up for a little irony occasionally? So, just simple as that. We're going to take all of those. We're going to pick them up with the stamp platform very carefully. And then I'm going to take my Versamark ink, which is this great sticky ink, as all of my fellow crafters know, that is perfect for the embossing powder to cling on to. So I'm just going to stamp all of that up, just like that. I can do them all at one time, and then I can turn around, flip this over, and just press those onto the surface. And I did mess up. I forgot to grab my static cling bag that you basically would run over the surface to ensure that the embossing powder doesn't cling anywhere but the stamp. But, you know, I'll just do a little cleanup. That's fine. It's not a big deal. So awesome. Powder. So this is Ranger Silver Tinsel Embossing Powder. And as I said, all we're going to do is we're just going to sprinkle it over the card so it lands right on those stamped areas. And of course you can just apply liberally because you have a waste sheet underneath. And just take all of that, dump it right off, give it a little tap, maybe another little tap, tap, tap just to catch those loose ones. And as you can see, it's already really pretty. This powder has some natural shimmer to it, but it's going to be even better when I heat emboss it, And we're back. So I got that front embossed, as you probably saw, because I'm probably going to be able to include that in this video. So now all that's left is the inside. Now I decided that my card base is going to be pink because I really love that pink snowflake on the front. And so I decided that my sentiment would go ahead and be in pink as well. Now, as I mentioned, my sentiment is wishing you a season of joy. So I just want to make sure that I've got that nice and centered right up at the top. Got a little piece of towel lint on there, which is no good because that's the sort of thing that messes up your impression, and you don't want that. So making sure that I've got that nice and centered. And then I've got that right underneath. Wishing you a season of joy. Now it could also look pretty cool if I step it just like that. It's a bit long to go all the way across, plus I would worry about my spacing in between A and season. I'd want it to look pretty consistent, but this actually could look pretty cute, right? Yeah, I'm pretty into this. Yeah, just want to make sure that looks pretty decent. There we go. So I'm going to close that down, lift it up, and then I'm going to ink it again. Now, because this is the lighter ink, the lighter pink ink, I'm going to probably need to do it a couple of times, but that's okay because, hey, got the Misty. That's just fine. I'm just going to go ahead and burnish that right in there. I also like that the pink is sort of like a nod to the reds and greens of Christmas, but you know, it's not exact. And I was gonna say that this could really be just a general winter card, season card, but I just realized that's not true because on the front it does say Merry Merry and White Christmas and all that sort of thing. So Without those sentiments, though, that would be perfectly fine. And boy, that is being really determined. So you know what we're going to do? We're just going to go ahead and we're going to switch to the darker pink. Because that is really... I thought I did a good job cleaning it, and that was just a particular ink that stained the sentiment. But that blue's really kind of getting reactivated and showing through. So probably going to come out with some sort of a weird purple here. You know what? No, that's okay. It's okay. See, that's pretty. That's fine. We are good with that. Oh, heavens. Hey, like I said, come for the crafts, stay for the train wreck. I did not mislead you on that, did I? So, now that that's done, I usually like to add a little something just right down in this corner. So, let's do the green stamp again. The little green snowflake. You know, I love green and pink together. And this is such a cute little snowflake. It doesn't take up a lot of space. And, you know, once again, red and green, Christmas colors. We're kind of bowing to that. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being a little traditional. You know, as long as you're not held prisoner to them. All right? You don't have to answer that. It's fine. It's a YouTube video. I'm not expecting anything. There we go. So we got that. And remember, this is Build a Snowflake. So we're just going to stick that guy right on there. And then pick him up. Ink this up with the emerald green. And realize that we put it on backwards. Well, that's going well. Let's try again, shall we? At least I realized now before I stamped it. That's a little bit harder to see, but go with me on this. It's fine. It's fine. Let's try again, shall we? I was like, wow, I'm getting a lot of coverage on that. That's so weird. And that's why. Yeah, see? That came out fine, especially because I inked the correct side. So I have my scoreboard here, and I have a piece of pink cardstock that is cut to 8.5 by 5.5. Yeah, 5.5. So basically just a piece of cardstock cut in half. And I'm just going to score it right down the middle, which is of course 4 1/4. Just going to give that a couple of good goes over it. I'm going to take that. I'm going to get it out of the way. Of course, you could just fold it in half like a regular piece of paper back in the days before we had a scoreboard. But, you know, I have a scoreboard and I intend to be fancy. So now we just want to really tighten up that crease a couple of times so it lays flat. Using our bone folder. And now we are in the home stretch. So we're going to take our lovely, lovely front piece, flip it over, put some glue on it. Now you could have cut this down a little bit more, put a second mat of color there. You could prop it up on foam tape if you wanted, or a big old piece of fun foam. You really do a lot of different things. But because I felt like there was a lot happening on this card already, with the embossing and the different colored snowflakes, I thought it would be plenty simply to have a very simple front. And then for the inside, you want to take your sentiment and you want to do the exact same thing. Just a few pieces of glue and the tape roller here. Flip it over. Make sure that you're putting it in right side up because that feels like a mistake I would make. And just press it down in there. And there you go. You have a beautiful holiday card, which also fits the lovely one stamp set, one card challenge.